Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of video lecture on topics from the subject English for Skill Enhancement. So today I will be talking about or discussing about an important topic, that is preposition. I am Arif Ahammed. I teach English in Department of SNH, MLR Institute of Technology. We'll move to the next slide. We'll see the overview of the lecture. What are the topics that we are going to cover today? It's going to be a very small topic but important, because preposition is an important aspect if you're talking about English language. So these are the two aspects that we'll be talking about or covering in today's lecture, that is definition of preposition. So what is a preposition, how a preposition can be defined, and the next part would be types of preposition. There are different types of preposition. We'll be talking about them also, right? So let's see a definition of preposition. How can we define a preposition? So you see, one thing is you have to remember here is that already there is a this particular word position in the word preposition itself, right? So remember, preposition is always related to something that indicates position. Now we'll see how. Okay, so a preposition is a word. Now let's first see the formal definition of a preposition. It's a word, or it can sometimes can be a group of word also, which is a prepositional phrase, right? So it's a group words or group of word which is placed before a noun or pronoun to show its relationship with other words in the sentence. So you can see preposition is all about indicating the relationship. So one thing you are getting from this definition is preposition will always come before a noun or a pronoun, right? That is one thing you have to understand. And then what it will do, it will establish a relationship of this noun or pronoun with the other words of the word. How these noun or pronoun are related to the other words of the sentences. Now, this relationship can be in terms of direction, time, place, location, position, etc. Okay? So you see the example here. Now, the example would clarify the definition furthermore. The pen is on my palm. So you can see the green one, it's a preposition you all can understand easily. Now here, what you need to understand is, you see it is coming before this particular noun, right? This preposition is coming before a noun. You can see the definition. It comes before a noun or pronoun. So this is one part. Now, what is the second part of the definition? It shows the relationship with the other words in the sentences. So now see how this particular word or noun is related to the other part of the or other words of the sentence. Now, if you see here, there is another noun. So how this particular noun is related to this noun? For that, in order to indicate that relationship, we are using this article on. So it's indicating a kind of, what kind of relationship? Relationship in terms of place, you can say. At which place the pen is, right? So the pen is palm is connected with this particular preposition. So I hope now the definition of preposition is clear. One thing that you need to remember is that preposition is always talks about a relationship. Now, if we are not careful about preposition, what will happen? That relationship won't be established properly. So the meaning might change. Now let's say here, you can see I kept the pen on my palm, right? Now, if I have to indicate this sense, if I have to convey this sense, I have to use the preposition on only. I cannot say the pen is in my palm, right? If I say in my palm, this is different thing, right? So the meaning would change. So that's why prepositions are very important. Okay, now let's see the types of preposition. How many types of prepositions are there? Now you can see these are broadly the types of preposition. We are talking about the functional type of preposition, right? So preposition of place, preposition of time, preposition of movement, positions. So we'll go and look into each of these types of preposition in little more detail. Fine. So preposition of place. What is preposition of place? So you were talking about relationship, if you remember. So preposition of place, what they do, they establish a kind of place relationship, right? The relationship would be the relationship that they would indicate will be in terms of place or location. So see here, these are the example. Now you need to understand one thing here. These preposition are not like, it's not like these are the fixed example of, or these examples prepositions are only preposition of places. They can be used in overlapping manner only. The same preposition can be used as other type of preposition also, that you will get to know. So let's see the place of preposition of places. What are the preposition of places? You can see preposition of place, above, up, after, all these are example. Now see, these are the example sentences. The aeroplane is flying above the cloud. So you can see this particular preposition is like talking about the relationship of, right, aeroplane and clouds. How they are related? They are related in terms of place, right? The dog buried the bone under the ground. Now under again is an example of preposition of place. My birthday falls, sorry, this the our shop is at end of the main street. At, again, preposition of place. And then playing on the road. So these are all example of preposition of place. Now why they are considered in these sentences as preposition of place? Because you can see they are establishing the relationship in terms of what? Place. So clouds and aeroplane, what are their position in terms of place, how they are actually connected. So that's why they are known as preposition of places. Now let's see different next kind of preposition, that is preposition of time. So from the name itself you can understand that this the preposition of times, they would be establishing a connection in terms of time. So you can see, again, you can see few overlapping example. You might find few of these prepositions which were present in the previous category also. So that's why I said that they can be used in overlapping manner only. What you need to see is what kind of relationship they are establishing. Accordingly, you can describe a preposition as preposition of place or preposition of time, etc. Now see the example. First definition. So preposition of time helps to link the noun or pronoun with a time value. So the relationship would be in terms of time. Now see the example. The train is about an hour late. So you can see here how the train and hour is related. This about is establishing the relationship between them, and the relationship is in terms of time. My birthday falls on Wednesday. You can see Wednesday and birthday, how they are related through this preposition, like how they are connected through this preposition. And this preposition is indicating what? A preposition of time, like it is establishing that relationship in terms of time value. So that's why these are all example of preposition of time. Now next category, preposition of movement. So again, from the name itself you can understand preposition of movement. So what is preposition of movement? Preposition of movements, they are actually used to show movement to or from a place. So it indicates a kind of movement. When we are talking about relationship, the relationship would be in terms of movement. You can see here. These are the examples. See the example sentences directly. The cat has climbed up the tree. Now you can see up. So the cat and tree, they are related through this preposition, right? The connection is actually established through this preposition. Now what kind of relationship this preposition is establishing here? It's a kind of movement, right? The relationship is in terms of movement. Up means, it's not, you are not talking about a static point, you are talking about a movement from, maybe the cat was actually under the tree and then it climbed up. So it indicates a continuous movement. That's why it is known as preposition of movement. The children got off the bus, again. So it indicates a movement from one place to another place, this off. I came to studio from KC block. You can see I just came to studio. So these two from, these are also example of what? Preposition of movement, because I am talking about a movement from one place to another place. So that's why they are known as preposition of movement. Fine. Now let's come to the next category. What is the next category? Preposition of possession. So possession means what? To own something, right? Ownership. So you can see a preposition of possession indicate possession. So it will establish that a relationship that indicates some sort of possession. You can see here, the factory is owned by Nitin. So by is a preposition, you all know. Now what kind of preposition it is? It is a preposition of possession. Why? Because it is establishing the relationship in terms of possession. The factory is owned by whom? Nitin. So by is actually establishing that possession relationship here. That's why it is an example of preposition of possession. She is the CR of the class. Again, it is indicating a preposition of possession, as you can see here. He is a friend of, again, friend of whom? Of my elder brother. So of, again, is indicating a preposition of, like, a relationship of possession. That's why it is working as a preposition of possession in this particular sentence. Fine. The next category, preposition of agency and instrumentality or instrument. You can see. So there are certain preposition that indicates that establish the relationship in terms of agent or instrument. You can see here, The letter was written by her. Okay, now see here, in the previous slide, you could see that by was actually serving as a preposition of possession. By using the preposition by, you can establish the possession relationship. But you can use again the same preposition by to indicate what? Preposition of agency. What is the meaning of agency? The doer, like someone who actually does the action. You can see the letter was done by her. So this her and letter, what was the relationship? The letter and her, what is their relationship? Her is a pronoun here, right? You can see the relationship is in terms of the agent, right? She is the agent. She is the doer of that action. She is the performer of the action. Now, she cut the apple with knife. Now, this is an example of preposition of what? Instrument. With this knife and apple, they are connected with this particular preposition with. Now, with here is an example of preposition of instrument, because the relationship of knife and apple is in terms of instrument. Which instrument is being used to cut the apple? It is knife. So that's why it's preposition of instrument. You can see they got access through a backdoor system. Now through here also is an you can see instrument of action, or it is an instrument. So what is the action here in this sentence? Getting access. Now how did it happen? Through a backdoor backdoor thing, right? Through backdoor. So it's establishing the relationship between these two things. So that's why this particular preposition through is an example of preposition of instrument here. Right, now let's see to the next category, the reason and purpose. So they are pretty simple. They indicate what? They indicate either reason or purpose of something. You can see the example here. She is suffering from fever. So from is the preposition here. Now what kind of, again, relationship it is establishing? It is establishing the cause relationship. So she is suffering for what? What is the reason for her suffering? From fever. So from is an example of what? Preposition of reason or purpose, you can say. He died of cancer. Here of is an example of preposition of what? Preposition of reason. You can see. Why did he die? Because of cancer. So of is establishing the relationship between cancer and he in terms of reason. She took medicine for cold. Here purpose. What was the purpose for her to take medicine? For cold. So cold and she, okay, or medicine, you can see why, for what purpose she took the medicine? For cold. So that's why it is establishing a preposition of, like, a relationship in terms of purpose. That's why it's called a preposition of purpose, you can say. Fine. Now, these were all types of preposition as per their function, like what kind of relationship they establish. If they are establishing time relationship, we term that particular preposition as preposition of time. If it established a relationship in terms of place, we term that particular preposition as preposition of place. Similarly, now we can categorize preposition in terms of their structure also. These are not that important, but you should have an idea about that, right? So let's see if know how can we categorize preposition in terms of their structure. So structure means what? How do they look? What is their physical structure, right? So you can see simple preposition is their first category. Simple preposition is like the normal preposition with single word. They consist of one word. For example, in, on, by, all these are example of simple preposition. Now why they are called simple? Because you can understand they are only one. There nothing complete, no complexity is there. That's why they are known as simple preposition. Now double preposition is what? Double preposition is formed by combining two simple preposition. So when two simple preposition comes together, we get a double preposition. What are the example? If you remember, into, onto, up, to, within, upon. Now in most of these cases, this double preposition is actually used to indicate what? To indicate kind of movement. So most of this double preposition, you can find they will serve as preposition of movement. Now what is compound preposition? Third category. They are made by combining a simple preposition with another word. So here what is happening? Here in double preposition, you are combining two different or two simple preposition. In compound preposition, again you are combining one preposition, one simple preposition with what? With another words, usually a noun, adjective or adverb. Now see the example, because of. So you can see one preposition here being joined with another word, because. Due to, again a preposition. According to, in spite of, on behalf of. These are all example of what? Double compound preposition. Why? Because one simple preposition in each cases are getting combined with another words that is either noun, adjective or adverb. Fine. So they are known as compound preposition. Now participle preposition. What is participle preposition? They are basically participles used as preposition. So you know participles means the ing form of the verb basically. You can see. So they are also used as preposition. You can see the example here: considering, regarding, concerning, following, including, during. These are all examples of preposition, and what they are known as per their structure, they are known as preposition, participle preposition. So as per the structure, you can find there are 4 types of prepositions, right? As per their structure. What are those? Simple preposition, one single preposition, double preposition, two simple preposition comes together, like you combine them, and then compound preposition. What do you do in compound preposition? You combine one simple preposition to a different word. The word can be usually a noun, adjective or adverb. And then the last type of preposition is participle preposition. What is participle preposition? Participle form of verb, you know, ing form. So they actually work in a sentence as preposition: considering, regarding, including, during, all these things. Right? So now let's see the takeaway points of today's lecture. What are the points that we have actually we can extract from this particular lecture? The first thing that we got to know is like preposition plays very important role in construction of meaning. Why meaning? Because I gave you the example. If you change the preposition, the intended meaning will change. Now that's why preposition plays a very important role. Preposition establishes different types of relationship with the sentences. So we also got to know that preposition actually plays an important role by establishing a relationship. A relationship in terms of different aspects. It can be in terms of place. It can be in terms of movement. It can be in terms of agency or instrumentality. So all these things. Next one preposition may fall into different categories of position. So this is also one important point that we understood from today's lecture, that we cannot simply by heart or memorize the list of preposition. Let's say in, on, at, these are all preposition of time. We cannot remember like that, because as I told, they can be used in overlapping category also. A same preposition can be used both. Like you see, he is at the play, he is at the shop, let's say, if I say that. So here at is working as preposition of what? Time. But same at you can preposition of place, sorry, shop, it's a place, but same at you can use as preposition of time also. He will come at 8 o'clock. You see, he will come at 8 o'clock. At, same at I am using, but in that particular sentence the at is working as preposition of what? Time. So they can, the same preposition at can work in can be used in multiple categories. Now last point, important point that we have learned from today's lecture, they are categorized as per the relationship they establish. So the category, when we are talking about category of preposition, basically we look at 2 aspects. One is the functional aspect. So in terms of functions, how do we categorize? We check what kind of relationship the preposition is establishing. Accordingly, we give them name. Okay, and another category is like another way of categorizing a preposition is we look at their structure, physical structure. So if it is one single preposition, then it's a simple preposition. If 2 simple prepositions are combined, then what happens? We get a preposition, double preposition. So that is another way of. So these are the 4 main points that we have learned from today's lecture. So for now, that's it. We will again meet in the next lecture. Thank you.